You're listening to the Wicked Theory Podcast.
We're very happy to have you back, even for a short visit.
And here we go.
Broadcasting to you live from the basement of George Lucas, where if you listen very closely, you can hear him sobbing.
Why didn't I think of that?
This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. Boys and girls, we're back. It's another week. It's another show. My name's Bill Sweet. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. It was all my bad idea, but I bring friends to suffer along with me. I got my buddy Ed.
Plague of both your houses.
That's a Shakespeare thing, I think. And I got my brother Bob.
Hello, hello.
He's live on guitar for your entertainment only. For you.
Or torture, depending on how you take it.
There you go. But it's been good lately, man. Hey.
Yeah, so far.
So far.
The Parkinson's is under control.
We're less than a minute in. It's good. It's good so far. Hey, this show's all right. All right, that'll change later on.
Let's end it right now.
Man,
Yeah, we'll see.
Let's see.
There's time.
This time.
Oh, there's time.
There's time. I'll just jinx it. You know,
Do
let's
you have
just get
time
the
in a
jinx.
bottle?
I do. And it's serving up right now. All right, so this is episode 85, and we're going to get to some nerd news. We got a little something in the DC TV report, although that might be making people shake their head. And then we got some email. Obviously, we do emails. Mm-hmm. Later on, what we're doing this week is we're going to keep this show a little shorter than usual so that we have room to squeeze in a Rogue One breakdown and whatnot later on. So it's going to be...
Kind of a special segment.
Sure. And then so this is going to be the main. We're going to do a little bit of after show, and then we're going to see maybe we might take a quick break, like 2 minutes. I'll play a song. I'll play a jingle. Jingle, jangle, jingle.
It's not bad enough that we work for free. We're going to be working for free after the show.
Well, there you go. It's just nonstop. Just nonstop.
Nonstop slavery, ladies and gentlemen.
That's it. It's commitment. Mm-hmm. It's commitment. I don't know if it's overcommitment, but it's commitment.
March.
Some of it should be commitment.
Well, in the end, that's how I feel. I'm like, why did I sign on to something I didn't really realize was what it was? Yeah, so there's that. Ed, how you been, buddy?
I've been good.
Yeah, you been good?
I've been good.
You been good?
Yeah. Kind of quiet this week.
That's good. Okay. So you got nothing?
You know.
All right, good. That's the way I like it.
Help trim the tree, my Christmas tree at my house.
What a nice boy.
Yeah.
What a nice boy. And
Did you use hedge clippers?
No.
Did you use the...
I used ornaments.
Oh, that kind of trimming. Okay.
Oh, okay. The opposite of trimming.
Yeah.
Adorning. You adorned the tree. You
Yes.
dressed it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that actually when people say trim the tree? Is that what they actually mean? It's one of those?
Yes. Yeah, they mean put the ornaments on the tree. And
Why is everything got to be so goddamn
there's
confusing?
the garland and the tinsel.
You know how many people probably... Like, I kind of did. I just kind of didn't really think about it. But it is kind of like a lame thing, kind of a silly thing to call it, no? I mean...
I don't know. You always hear
Hey,
about...
give me an answer. Like, is it or isn't it?
It is stupid.
Okay, thank you. All right, so if people want to send emails to this fucking stupid show, you can send them to podcast@wickedtheory.com. And you can hear us every Saturday, like maybe some of you are right now, live on Mixler. Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what time that is in your town. You'll have to do some math. I don't do math. It's not part of the show policy.
No math, no sports.
No math, no sports, no politics.
Well,
no math.
We do sports.
Sports comes up because it's unavoidable in America. So, I'm sorry.
It's unavoidable anywhere, Bill.
Yeah, I was just going to say, is there a country where
Unless
sports is not a
of
thing?
Congo.
All right.
You know.
I can do it. It's hot down there, though. I always say this.
There's a rainforest thing going on down there.
In countries where it's hot, I'm surprised that anybody multiplies because when it's hot, it's like, don't come near me. All right. Anyway, that's got nothing to do with anything. But that's part of the show. So people like, if you want to hang out in the chat room, that's a cool reason to come and listen to us live because you can get in the chat and hang out, and you can hang out with people like Agent Palmer, who's in there right now, Wesley Ryan Gaskins. I always want to call him Gosling because of...
He's so cute.
Because there's an actor.
8+8.
No,
the Goslings.
The Goslings. Is that where that's from too?
Yeah. You ever find it weird?
Ryan Gosling. Right?
Yeah.
Is that
Ryan
what he's
Gosling.
doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
You ever find it weird how Ryan Gosling's Canadian, yet he somehow has a Brooklyn accent?
Does he really though?
every movie he's always talking like this.
Oh yeah, that's like his.
Well, that's his thing. Like when Christian Slater's thing was to do Jack Nicholson his whole career.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of. You know what I mean? But it's definitely like his go-to, like inner city kind of American accent thing. You know, region, whatever.
Listen, I'm gonna treat you really nicely. You know,
I'm gonna dance, and you're gonna like it. All right?
Hey, a boot.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still mixed bags on Ryan Gosling, not Gaskins.
Well,
and Gaskins, you know, the other name I get him mixed up is what's his name, the actor, Goggins. Like sometimes I want to say Goggins.
Walton Goggins.
Walton Goggins, because this guy's name is our friend here is Wesley Ryan Gaskins. So I always sometimes it's Goggins. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with me? A lot.
Yeah,
a lot.
You have those things when you meet an actor, the thing you want them to say to you, or like the one line you want to hear. How many people do you think go up to Walter Goggins and ask them to tell him to eat shit?
Where are you pulling that one from?
Vice principals.
Oh,
that's
my
like
God.
On the commercials. Eat shit, Danby.
I haven't seen enough of it, but and the commercials haven't run for a while, so I'm out of the loop. I'm sorry, Ed. I'm sorry. Forgive me. So yeah, I was supposed to be. Yeah, you're right. I'm slipping all over the place.
It's your shoes.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my slippery shoes today.
No, it's the shit on the bottom of your shoes.
Every time I'm almost there, Bob's like, one more.
I'm sorry. I thought we were in the middle of talking about that.
I'm just running down the dock. I know you don't have the dock in front of you. But
no, I don't.
It's official business. You got that list.
I'm just trying to get to the Patreon drop. All right, so check us out on Patreon. Support us over there. Patreon. Yeah, I know. Now I'm going to rush through it and ruin it.
Give us money.
Help us out. Support us. Help us out. If these microphones sound like crap to you, imagine what they smell like. All right, so help us out.
You know, Adam Carolla's got his pirate ship. We've got our little rowboat out here, and you know we like.
Well, if he's got pirate ship,
I think it's
don't
more
know.
like a dinghy.
Well, I think if you set the standard that's the pirate ship.
Yeah,
dinghy. I don't even know.
We're like
dinghy.
We're like a buoy.
I feel like I'm floating on a random piece of foam that just washed up on the shoreline because it's some crazy island I'm stuck on.
Dinghy's that little thing that two people can sit in, and it looks like it's been sitting in the water so long, all the paint is like washed away.
It's like, what is this, 1950s?
You know,
it's
you
pure
get
rust.
splinters on the benches, and like there's 1.5 oars in it. You know?
If you're lucky, using the bench wood. Didn't even mean to do it, folks.
Right.
But it's like that was your.
It's like cramped quarters.
Yeah. Well, that's what. It's all this cradle work you do. Fair enough. All right, so check us out on Patreon. Come hear us on live on Mixer. See what you're missing. Or hear what you're missing. How about that?
Yeah.
You got to join Mixler, then you got to follow.
Right. You got to sign up to get in the chat room, and then since you do that, find the follow button, and then you get notifications whenever we go live.
Follow us, then you get notifications when we're on, and then you can come and listen live every time.
That's it, folks. All right, so in the chat room, the chat room looks pretty good. We're going to leave that alone because it's kind of quiet in there. It looks a little quiet. But, yeah, so like I said before, we're going to kind of move into the meanwhile stuff.
And I think for our meanwhiles today, it's going to, both for at least me and you, it's going to come later in the show.
Well, yeah, for the three of us. That's going to be the Rogue One talk later on is really going to be the bulk of the meanwhile kind of thing. But you do have something in here at Justice League Action.
Oh, that we're saving that for the DC
I wanted to
report.
Okay. We're just putting stuff for later in this part right here.
Sorry.
Okay. And I was about to.
We could talk about it now.
I have another non-thing I can say. I really meant to watch the OA on Netflix. I don't know if it's the OA or the OA.
Yeah.
Or the OA. Maybe that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
But or it's a zero. Maybe it's a zero.
Yeah. I like how the trailers drop like the day before the show comes on.
Yeah. You know what the trailer was? Like what? What happened? What was that? It was just like you might as well just have a waft of smoke as a trailer.
Yeah.
Like so I don't know, 8 episodes I think, and it's supposed to be like the new thing over there on Netflix. If you like the weird and the mysterious, like you know what happened. It's got to do with like death. This girl, she dies. I think. I don't know. It's all.
It's one of those death shows.
Well,
she comes back.
Yeah, kind of. I guess
there was a couple of few years ago
does,
on
right?
like there wasn't a couple of shows like this on a few years ago where
it's like one of those hooks. I think we keep coming,
and they keep have to do with things and
I think that's one of those things where one of those hooks where it keeps coming popping up once in a while.
Mandy Patinkin was involved in one of them.
Oh, that guy's on everything.
Yeah,
you know,
anything that is being shot anywhere near New York.
Well, that's you know what you made me think of Andy Patinkin. in that respect.
You mean Mandy Patinkin?
Mandy,
Yeah,
Andy,
Mandy.
Sandy. What did I say? Randy?
You said Andy.
Maybe I didn't pronounce the enough. Mandy.
I'm like, is that the B-movie version?
Yeah, that's his cousin. His cousin Andy. No relation. That maybe what we need is him in a show that merges the two of them, and it's like, you know, it's Criminal Minds, but it's dead criminals. So
Dead Criminal Mind?
yeah, it's like zombies of the zombie of the week. Just one zombie pops up, and he's got to find it.
Wasn't it like one of the fake cop shows they did in Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Well, then fine. I
we
guess. So much for my pitch.
Can we get the girl from that zombie show where she's the coroner and she's like eating brain sandwiches?
iZombie?
Yeah.
That girl? Yeah, sure. Why
iZombie.
not? Merge them up. It's a crossover.
Yeah.
That's coming back in April. If you look forward to the DC TV report.
Something to talk about in April, I guess.
Yeah.
One show. Will that be the only show running at the time? Do you know?
You'll still have like the last month or so of the other CW shows.
All right, fair enough. So, yeah, so really not much to go into under the meanwhile, unless did you say you had something else, Ed?
No, that was
No.
that was pretty much. I saw a couple of shows on Netflix where I didn't like the first episode and stopped watching.
Ew. That's no bueno.
Yeah, it happens.
What was that?
White Rabbit Project. It
Oh,
was
it's like the MythBusters
Yeah,
guys,
yeah,
but not with the guys.
the B team.
The B
Yeah.
team, the youngsters,
Yeah.
the youth of the MythBusters. Well, they were all younger than the other guys. That was
Yeah.
the thing. They were supposed to be like, it's like,
Well, they were supposed to be the ones who in MythBusters took on all the
did all the dirty work.
all the dirty work, basically. Well,
Well-
the other guys got to blow stuff up.
Yeah.
And then, in the end, it stopped being like
Like,
they even
okay.
worked on the same projects
Grant
anymore.
build a robot.
Yeah.
All right. Corey, stick something to it, and what's her name? Blow it up.
Yeah.
So how is this? It's
It was,
real quick.
I mean, they were all trying to come up with like, were real ways to do superpowers.
Okay.
And they were all like either really expensive or didn't really do what they do in the movies.
Like a lot of caveats to kind of say we achieved it too,
Yeah.
like a lot of stuff like that. Like I see that a lot of times when people are like,
Yeah.
"Could you really do this thing?" And it's like, but again, it's like, well, we didn't make the lasers come out of his eyes, but it's like a laser.
I could be invisible as long as you're just looking through this 2-inch lens.
Right.
And not directly in the center of it.
There's this old optical illusion from the 1920s. If you swing these two things really fast in front of a person, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was some of that. And it seems like it was an interesting show, but I was not going to binge that.
No,
not
that's the thing. And maybe you just dip in and dip out. It's like, what else is around? Oh, I'll watch another episode of that. Because I feel like some Netflix shows are like that too for me now.
Although I did start binging a show that's totally not geek related at all.
Do we do that here?
I don't know.
No, what? No, what is it?
I'll have what Phil's having.
Starring.
Phil Rosenthal, the creator of Everybody Loves Raymond.
Okay, so was it like a docu kind of reality thing? Follow him around.
It's a PBS show. It's a travel show where just basically
Jesus Christ.
he'll go to a different city and he'll show you.
Have
all
a different sandwich.
Yeah,
a different sandwich in every city.
No, but like he does all the fine dining things, and really, the fun thing is he basically tells you up front, listen, I just wanted to go on vacation, and PBS said they pay for it. So.
Well, there you go. And I get to eat along the way.
Yeah,
let's go. Well, that's kind of.
But he's a very odd guy, like really tall, lanky, and he's got this weird face.
Okay.
He's this like middle-aged Jewish guy.
You don't say.
The face that he pulls when he likes something, it's like this cartoon character that's just like, oh my god, with the bug eyes and the lips and the,
All right.
Anyway,
yeah,
totally boring, but
totally boring.
If you check it out,
Check it out. If you're into Sandy Koufax, right? Because that's who it was.
Phil Rosenthal.
Phil Rosenthal.
There's a great documentary about him where he went to Russia to help them do their own version of Everybody Loves Raymond. That's actually really interesting.
This guy in Russian? Whoa!
Trying to explain to them
Just leave me alone. I'm doing the dishes.
subtleties.
Where is the vodka?
All the time. Everybody sounds like Kermit. That's the wife I was doing, by the way. All right.
Why is your mother always coming over here and squashing potatoes with her feet?
I can't do Brad Garrett. I can't even. I have to. I don't know
That's
what I
kind of
have
like
to do.
doing Rocky, but like verbal, like you could actually like understand.
Mine just turns into Tuvian throat singing.
Hey guys, Bryzo's in the chat.
Hey, Bryzo.
Hey.
Yeah, and
Thanks for breaking it up, Ed.
Yeah, he
We would have went until somebody stopped us.
he may or may not have ingested alcohol. So just
Oh, okay. So
I think that that noise right now may have been freaking
this
him out
might be a
little
party
bit.
game.
Yeah.
Like, has Brian been drinking?
Yeah.
We just wait for the thing that kind of proves it. Like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, there he goes. He's puking in the plant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The question is, if he has or has not been drinking alcohol, but how much?
That's it. That's true. That's
You
true.
can imbibe a little and
Yeah.
be okay.
He says beers may have been consumed, just a few. Time for a cup of tea and some
Okay.
WT.
Unless he's 12 feet tall, he's
Nice.
going to be having a buzz right now.
Very good. What did you say, Ed? Bob stepped on it.
No, I said
Because
just
it
a
sounded
few-
like something to put on a T-shirt.
time for a cup of tea and some WT.
Oh, I like it. I like
How
it.
about just simplify it? Have a cup of WT.
And spell it T-E-A.
Big W for the logo, and then T-E-A.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Put it on a little cup. Have a little spot.
Right.
That's great. That's amazing. Ed, do you know what time it is? Do you know what's next?
I think I know what's next.
Do you know what's next? You know, I don't know. Does anybody know what's next?
Do I need a guitar pick?
Yeah, you get a guitar pick, and then
Play the news theme.
that would. There you go. I like your segue, Ed. Smooth. Oh my God!
Peek behind the curtain here, folks.
I just
So-
shit my pants. I think with that one.
A few weeks ago, Bill made up some flashcards.
I
so,
couldn't-
so
yeah.
he could tell Bob what theme to play.
Just
and the
so
reason,
he'd know where I could seg him. He would know where
Yeah.
I was going to go to
and,
next.
And
without
the
having to-
reason I didn't say news just now is because I thought we were going to do like the subtle thing where like Bob would play the theme first, and Bill wasn't showing up the card.
I'm sitting here going, "Where are the cards?" You know, vamping, trying to find them, then I'm like rolling through them and doing it verbally anyway at the same time.
And I don't have anything in front of me, so I don't know what you guys, either of you guys are talking about. So I'm just waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Wesley is
Whoa,
drinking.
whoa, I hit the button there on Jogga's theme. Sorry.
So Wesley's drinking bourbon and Dr. Peppers, which is
Whoa.
I wish I had that right now.
Oh, that sounds good.
Incredible.
That sounds really good.
So yeah. So TV news.
Yeah, some news,
For
my friend.
TV shows that have not premiered yet.
Right.
Not a lot of news this week, but so NBC.
Well, we're keeping some things tight too.
Yeah, NBC's Powerless.
Powerless.
Yes, this is going to be Office in the DC universe.
Okay.
It's kind of like the elevator pitch.
Yeah.
So they've released a new synopsis.
All right.
And it is as follows. In a world where humanity must cope with the collateral damage of superheroes and supervillains,
In a world where one man must get to the photocopier before somebody else beats him to it.
Emily...
But that guy is the Flash, so he never makes it in time.
Nope. So in a world where humanity must cope with the collateral damage of superheroes and supervillains, Emily Locke, played by Vanessa Hudgens,
Played by Vanessa Hutchins.
begins her first day as Director of Research and Development for Wayne Security.
Fill out these TPS forms and come in on Saturday for some unpaid overtime.
A subsidiary of Wayne Enterprises that specializes in products that make defenseless bystanders feel a little safer. Full of confidence and big ideas, Emily quickly learns that her expectations far exceed those of her new boss, played
Yeah.
by Alan Tudyk,
Oh, okay.
and office mates. So it will be up to her to lead the team toward their full potential and the realization that you don't need superhero powers to
Is
be a
this
hero.
a fucking synopsis or a show Bible? Like, what? This is how long is this?
paragraph? That's it.
Oh my God, we just kept interrupting you. I guess.
Yeah, that's really
Oh,
it.
okay. I was like, this feels long all of a sudden at the very end.
I'm waiting for him to come in with a deep voice.
So the Wayne Tech thing,
So that's new. That she's actually working for Wayne Enterprises.
that's great. So what we'll get is like the back of his head, like
Yeah.
some 70s sitcom, some Mary Tyler Moore based thing, or like on Seinfeld when they did Steinbrenner.
Yeah,
You know what I
with
mean?
the bad impression.
And, and that'll be Wayne. That'll be Wayne. Hurry up and get me those papers, George. All right. All right. Well, look, the more they make it into something, it's probably for the best. Because when stuff like nothing, like name a superhero thing that worked that was ever like a thing just created, like for TV as a straight up superhero type thing.
Yeah.
That was like not connected to something pre-existing. Like it never lasts. Like,
Heroes?
Right. What the last thing I could think of would be like that guy who could turn into animals.
Manimal. I guess that's close. You know what I mean? But I mean,
Or
like, great,
the
outside
dude,
of
the light dude with the car.
I'm talking like costume and everything. Like, Greatest American Heroes probably like comes closest. Like,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Mantis.
Did it get season 2?
No, it didn't.
I feel like if you didn't get to season 2, then you know, no bueno. You know, maybe some people will have some things they remember from growing up. Throw them into the chat room, and we'll go back in there and see and we'll regale. So what's next in the news?
So Star Trek Discovery has finally cast its lead actor.
Yeah,
So we've been hearing that it's going to be a female character,
Yeah.
hopefully a minority, who's
Yeah.
going to be a lieutenant commander on the Discovery, and it will be played by Sonequa Martin Green.
yeah. Sasha rather,
Sasha.
on The Walking Dead.
Yes.
And she's perfect for it. So I have to say now goodbye, Sasha. Knowing you on The Walking Dead has been great. Your character's not dead yet
Yes.
on the
But
show.
will be soon.
But most likely will be soon, I presume.
I mean, this show's premiering on CBS in May.
Yeah, so granted, maybe they're done filming for Walking Dead or it's going to time out that way, but hey, maybe she'll balance both shows. It's been done before, but I don't know. I kind of doubt it.
It is the age of 10-episode seasons.
It could be done.
You know what I mean?
It could be done. You know, especially if CBS is looking to like, if their scheduling is to like bang these out, like do like a rush job on production.
I mean, at this
You know?
point, because we've seen nothing. Like, we don't even know if they're filming yet.
I don't even believe it's happening.
Yeah.
Like I think it's all just been hokey. No.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
but
you said this was like a Star Trek thing, right?
this is
Star
that
Trek.
series.
So then no, it's not going to happen.
Well, this is
No.
the one that they've been working on for a while.
I just want to see Wesley Crusher's life after.
Oh man, follow him on Twitter. That's what I do. I follow Will Wheaton on
You
Twitter.
know, I actually have him on my Twitter. Too.
There you go. Yeah, he's wild. He's fun. Well, I don't know, wild, but he's fun.
Weird.
He's weird. As weird as he ever was.
Well, he could make fun of himself now. You know
Well,
what I
that's
mean?
what's great about
That's
it.
what it is. You know.
Yeah.
And he kind of has to because he's made some odd choices and.
No, and I enjoy
Yeah.
him too. Like I tried to give. He had a short-lived thing on Sci-Fi recently where they tried to do like a talk. Like a soup show, like one of those channel soup things, but for sci-fi, like
Right.
nerdy stuff.
And he did something similar on G4 back in the day.
Right. And he was always filling in over there shit on their.
He had
on
his
their
own.
shows.
He had his own show over there for a little
Well,
while.
yeah, I remember when he was on before it was G4 when he was
Right, whatever
back
it
when it
used
was
to be.
Tech something
Oh yeah, it was
Tech TV.
Tech TV. Right.
Right.
That's-
He used to
that's
be
what it was.
on part of the rotation for that stuff too because he's official. He's official nerd. He'll fix my computer before I ever will.
Right. So yeah.
So Will, if you're listening, just let me know when you're available because I have a printer issue. So there's that Star Trek Discovery, the series. That's the one that's going to be behind the paywall. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, if it happens, it happens.
Yeah. Hey, yeah,
Cool.
it's coming together.
Yeah. Let's just hope they don't do what was CBS doing. Is this that show that they were going to do the first?
Yeah,
First
they're
episode
gonna-
on
First
TV.
episode on free online and
No, first episode on TV.
on TV,
and then behind the paywall. Like, hey, subscribe to our
$5 a month.
our CBS kind of Hulu Netflix thing. That's just CBS stuff.
CBS All Access.
which I don't think makes it. Weren't they originally part of Hulu also?
No, CBS was the one
I know,
network
and-
that didn't take part in Hulu because it was owned by NBC, and they said, fuck those guys.
Right. They're the holdouts. Like, oh, it's a
Right.
multi-company join-up? Nah, we don't want nothing out of it. So we'll do our own thing, which is now taking them forever to be basically
Right.
just...
Well, it's because it's Sumner Redstone. He's 1,000 years old.
That's it. Like, you know, and he doesn't
You know.
move fast. Nothing gets across
He
his
doesn't
desk
really
quick.
move unless he's like moist first. Because if he
Needs
moves
a moisture bath?
like somebody else. would
Yeah,
know.
somebody else we'll get to
But-
later in the show.
But yeah, basically, because if he moves without it, he's gonna like the dust.
Yeah, it'll
He's just turn to dust.
He'll just grind away.
Right.
All right, so what's next then in the news? I see we got a little bit of movies.
Okay,
One thing
so,
in movies.
So one big movie thing. Okay, so
Basically.
there's been talk of Margot Robbie doing like a solo Harley Quinn movie.
Yeah.
And now they've officially announced that the plans are for her to star in a Gotham City Sirens movie, which will have Catwoman and Poison Ivy in it.
Yeah.
There have been rumors that they would go up against the Birds of Prey, but that's not confirmed.
Right.
And it's going to be directed by David Ayer, who also directed Suicide Squad.
Because that was a good
Bill,
Yeah, I'm not exactly happy.
Bill, I need help.
Yeah, I mean, really, like, look, like, who doesn't want to see more of these characters? Who doesn't want to see, like, her Harley Quinn, like, really flesh out and be as entertaining and cool as it can be? But, like, I feel like this company just, it's like someone's got an idea, and because they can't ever make a good idea on their own or just go with something that's already pre-established. It's like, yeah, that sounds great. Oh, what's the hottest two characters in that movie? Because they're also talking about Deadshot getting his own solo thing. They're going to kick that around for a while until, like, it just goes away, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think that should happen.
I mean...
You know, he's a character that you have to get right.
Yeah. You know what it is, too? I feel like...
I don't know a whole lot about him, but I know that much. And
that's what I mean.
You don't
like,
want to mess around.
Yeah, and I feel like to make him sell a character who, like, you know, hey, you know, all the power to you, Deadshot, but, like, I don't... Like, is he the kind of character that could...
There's a problem with that too because we already kind of know his origin from the last movie he was in.
Well, there you go. And I don't feel like this is the kind of company that can just start now taking second and third tier characters and trying to push them to the forefront. Like, like they're good at that.
Right. Well, did you hear Captain Boomerang's getting his own series?
Oh, well, that's not surprising to me because I'm sure he's big in Australia.
Well, I think Harley Quinn was the best part of that movie.
Well, absolutely, and so was Deadshot in a way, and so that's why they, you know. Actually, best part of that movie was seeing Batman in it for like 5 seconds. That was the best part of it.
You know, and I don't mind them doing.
It's the part I had the least issue with.
I don't mind them doing this project, but I'm just really surprised why they would tap him to direct it.
Because you know what? Because he came through for them and wrote a script in 3 weeks for Suicide Squad. Mm-hmm. In 3 weeks.
Yeah, and they ended up changing half of it, and it failed.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't fail. It made a shit ton of money, but no one liked it.
Well,
this is the problem.
But it was a step up from the last movie.
Hey, kinda.
So maybe they're thinking, okay, if we give this guy a little more, and we don't, maybe they don't mess around with him this much.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. Well, you know,
and then maybe they'll have a decent movie.
I think that's their thinking for sure. With this, is like, okay, this is going to have more stacked against it. Going against it, we have to take more time. We'll have to be a little bit more cooler with our planning. Yeah. So, I'm hoping that every time they get their hand burned, they learn something for it. But the thing with Hollywood is that they usually learn the wrong lessons. Yes. They usually come out of this thing going, all right, who's the 2 greatest characters? Let's give them stuff.
Right.
I guess.
We made money, so that's good. What do we have from that movie that we can make more money on?
Yeah. How do we
Right, that's the thinking.
Yeah. How do we branch this out?
It's the wrong thinking. It's not necessarily a bad idea, but it's the wrong thinking about it going in, and that ends up playing a role in destroying. And
as far as I know,
anything good.
As far as like I'm forced to presume is that like it seems like what is this project even anyway? Mm-hmm. So it's like, of all the things that are laying around in the vault of DC Comics, it's like Sirens of Gotham City. Yeah. Like, what is this original idea that now you're going to throw around? Like, basically, that's what Suicide Squad ended up being. Like, and that didn't work. That's what Batman vs. Superman kind of ended up being, too. Well, and that didn't quite work.
See, like, it depends on the take. Like, if they...
Because there's no material to really base it on, this kind of a thing.
Well, maybe what they're thinking is that they actually like Suicide Squad, the results of Suicide Squad, and now they want an all-woman version.
Well, no, that's exactly what it is. It's all girl villains as the main characters, and then the heroes as the jerk-offs, because that's everything now.
Which I think would be interesting to see Birds of Prey be sort of like the heavies.
Yeah.
In this. But the other thing that shocks me is you have all these female characters and you pick a male director.
See, here's the problem. Here's the thing that Suicide Squad solved, is that, like, in this movie here, if they use Birds of Prey, you can't make them the main characters and then the Birds of Prey the bad guys. Like, how does that work? How do you so like in Suicide Squad the movie, like, okay, here's an easy out, we just make one of our own characters the big bad.
Right. Well, instead, why don't they use this as a vehicle for trying to build up some more characters that are on the fringe? Bizarro, make them fight him. Oof. You know what I mean? Or somebody like that. You know what I mean?
Hey, look, if somebody could make a fun romp like that, like let's just go crazy, like, you'd sign me up. If you told me it was Bizarro, Harley Quinn, and like Mxyzptlk on a road trip, like, fuck yeah! Like, stick the 3 of them in a car and me, and let's go.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? But they're not. It's going to be some, half-ass action bang-up.
Like Rain Man on acid.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I mean, well, that's basically, if anyone wants to check out a good comp, or check out Red Hood and the Outlaws.
Red Hood and the Outlaws?
It's Red Hood, Bizarro, and Artemis from
Right.
For the Amazonian from Paradise Island.
I'm sure they get along great. Who's writing that? Do you know off the top of your head?
I think it's Scott Lobdell.
Okay, all right. He's a vet. He's been around. All right, so that's gonna wrap up the news really because we're trying to keep stuff tight here.
Well, we got a quick reboot.
Well, we do. That's right. All right.
Reboot
Yeah.
report.
Yeah. Hit it. What do you got?
We got.
Well, what is it? What is it?
DuckTales.
Ooh.
We knew DuckTales was coming back, but they've announced the cast, and it is wildly unnecessarily.
It's overcasted. I
Yes.
never thought I would say this. It feels overcast.
Yeah, but it's a lot of really good actors.
It's everybody
like,
who's
known
like
actors.
half good on
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live or elsewhere
Yeah.
on NBC. it
Yeah,
seems
so
like.
you've got Danny Pudi from Community, you've got Ben Schwartz from House of Lies, Bobby Moynihan from
Saturday Night Live.
From Saturday Night Live. That's Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Okay, that's just those three.
Like
Right. Continue.
who else? David Tennant is Scrooge McDuck.
Brilliant, but like okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Beck Bennett is Launchpad.
He's from Saturday Night Live as well.
Yeah. Tex Alagundoy as Mrs. Beakley and Kate McCucci as Webby Vanderquack.
Right, who are the only two girls on the show.
Yeah.
It just feels overcast. So they put out a promotional video kind of all these people singing along
It's disgusting.
to the original theme, and Ed was about to watch it, and I heard it cue up for 2 seconds. And look, as a kid, I loved DuckTales. I watched a lot of it, and Ed pointed out the math on this. I think you were a little too old for this. maybe?
Actually, Palmer pointed that out.
Palmer pointed that out. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I guess I was hanging on, but
Yeah.
So yeah, it was cringe-inducing. So when Ed was starting to go to play it, I was like, no. You got to put headphones on. I can't possibly listen to these people sing this again. It was just, I don't know. It just felt so forced. And when you watch the video, half of them are dancing like and singing because they by themselves in a recording.
Well, it's
booth.
also that
They
theme
just look
song.
awkward, like forced. Ooh.
That theme song is so early '90s.
It's so early '90s and it's so over peppy.
Yeah.
That it's like, man, if you ain't feeling it, like for the whole 2.5 minutes of song that it is,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like Footloose.
yeah, it's like I don't know how this guy does it every night. I'm touring.
It's like
Holy
it's
shit!
got that level of energy going on.
Yeah, it's got that. You know,
It's like, come on, we're gonna make
You gotta-
freaking dance.
you got to sell every fucking line of that jingle too, because everybody knows that fucking song. I'm not saying.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I thought at first. I'm sorry. I thought you were actually gonna play it.
No.
I asked him. You can go look it up. Most people probably already seen it. But yeah, so
he had it
that's
up for a second.
so now you have an article up for that still in front of you for the DuckTales
yeah,
thing.
yeah. What's up?
No, I'm just curious. Now, where is that coming to? Is that like a Netflix thing? No, it can't be. It's Disney.
No, it's Disney.
It's Disney. So they're just going to have that on the Disney Channel probably?
Yeah.
And lock it down like that? Okay. No, I was just curious. I kind of, for a
Well, so
second,
now it
I
makes
blanked
sense
out.
that it's like coming out on Disney because it is a Disney property and
Fair enough.
Just another thing they're gonna have on that 24-hour kids channel they got going on.
Yeah, basically. So that's kind of cool in general.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I really feel like it's overcast. Like, it might be like, I don't know. It just feels like more than necessary for this show.
also
I don't
kind of
know. It's weird.
because you have so many
Overcast is when you have Robert De Niro involved.
well, like it just
Scrooge fucking McDuck. Okay.
because there's like this huge underground.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Pacino as
You tried to
Launchpad.
dive in my coins. Yes, you did. You tried to dive in my coins. That's my job. That's what I do. Watch this. Go ahead. I'm fucking Scottish. You can't hear it?
So anyway, no, I was like, but like, there's this whole underground of voice acting.
Well, think about there's 8
and
people
I'm just
who aren't getting
surprised
work.
that like there's no one from that stable.
Screaming.
Yeah,
Like, you're taking work away from us? Like, there's a
Pretty much.
union? Like, there's a sub-union in the actors' union
Check
for
out
voice
that-
work guys?
check out the documentary. I know that voice.
Yeah. It's funny. It's really fucked up. Like, I don't blame them sometimes for getting annoyed by that shit. There's only so much animation work, and like nowadays, like if it's big, it just goes right to mainstream actors. You know, Daniel Craig
Right.
is the voice of the Ghost. You know what I mean? Like, like who needs him coming in? Like, you don't. Samuel Jackson. Doing Penguin documentaries and shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm down for it.
But I think there's one guy who plays Donald Duck
In the
like,
world,
in the
where
world.
only one man
There's
can
only-
do Donald Duck
and Porky Pig.
and Porky Pig.
There's only one guy who could do that voice. Like if he does, we're all screwed.
Porky Pig was Mel Blanc,
yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
dead.
But
Yeah,
these
yeah.
days, like the
Yeah,
the
like
official
there's one guy
Right.
alive who they've
Right.
scoured
Right.
the earth and
Kermit
found.
the Frog when
Yeah.
when
Jim Henson.
Henson died, that was his character.
Sure.
So they had to go on a nationwide manhunt for somebody, and it took them a while.
It took him a while and still never felt quite right.
I don't know why, because Kermit the Frog here.
You just didn't apply. You just sort of.
I didn't
the
know
day
about
he
it.
died, you should have been like, damn, you know what? They're going to be looking for a new Kermit.
Really? Probably here in New York, too.
They probably got a lot of.
Or Connecticut.
There's a lot of phone messages at the Henson Productions that day. Like, hey, if you know anybody who might need a guy to do the voice, I do a pretty good one. You know?
Yeah.
That was pretty good, Bill.
That was like one of the best times I did.
Billy
that.
West, I think, is the guy's name.
Oh, Billy West.
Billy West. Oh, he's the guy who does everything.
Yeah. Billy West should get in trouble for taking too much work.
Yeah, he's Elmer Fudd.
Yeah, really.
He's
My Mo from the Three Stooges, I can't do it today, I guess, was based on his. I used to listen to him on Howard Stern, which was the
Well, you should have
funniest
seen the
run
movie.
of Howard Stern.
You should have seen the movie with the guy from Mad TV.
Mm.
Oh, that was a very funny movie. It was
With about what are you talking about?
It was the Three Stooges movie.
Oh,
They
that!
brought-
No. Well, I mean, I just like the Larry Fine. You know what I mean?
Right.
But-
Larry Fine was what's his name from Will and Grace. The guy who played the gay guy.
He was Larry.
Yeah, he was Larry.
I don't know who he could be. He shouldn't have been Larry.
No, he was. He nailed it. He was Larry.
I'm sure. I guess.
No,
I know they had the other guy from Mad TV as Curly. I think. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill something, I think was his name.
Will Sasso.
Yeah, Will Sasso.
Will Sasso.
Right.
Sasso used to be wrong.
Anyway, that's your Carlito's Way reference for the day.
there you go.
His name was Sasso. Ooh, you smell that? That was Sasso.
Used to be wrong.
All right. What else we got? We got a little bit in this thing. We're doing Trailer Park.
The Trailer Park.
Trailer Park, which is it's a few trailers come out every week, and these are the ones that I'm going to allow us to talk about.
Yes. I put up a giant list, and these are the 3 Bill picked out.
I whittle it.
Yes.
I really like
Yeah.
some wood when I'm out in the woods whittling.
Mm-hmm. Well, in that case, I think you should introduce them.
I should introduce them. First one is called Fate and the Furious.
Mm-hmm.
The Fate of the Furious.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't read. I had to do it from memory. From deep down in my memory. Yeah, Fate of the Furious. They're angry and they have a destiny. Is what's coming, which is what this is.
Hashtag
That
F8.
sounds like a Chinese martial arts movie.
There you go. It does. It does sound like a Chinese martial.
The Fate of the Furious.
Oh, the Fate of the Furious.
This starts Sonny Chiba in
Pulled out his heart.
1979.
Flying guillotine.
I have your heart in my hand.
But father, I was just making rice.
So how does that compare to this movie?
It doesn't. That's how we have actual fun with it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's just, oh wait, what's
It's
the
just-
last thing? Well, I'll tell you this. I'm going to spoil the trailer, which might spoil the movie. But what's the last thing that they can do now? They've done 8 movies. What's the one thing they haven't done?
Underwater submarine chase.
Wait, there's a submarine in this one, isn't it?
It was somewhere in there.
There was somewhere in there. Like, there was vehicles. There's a lot of like weird. I think there's a submarine actually in there, if I remember correctly. Either that or the Xander Cage Triple X movie. One of those two.
Oh, yeah, that's what you're thinking of.
Right, because near the end of that, it pops up out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
The submarine. Fair enough. I'm mixing up my 2 high-octane adventure thrillers starring Vin Diesel as the same guy. Anyway, so in Fate of the Furious, turns out the last thing, we got nothing left. We'll make him a bad guy.
Yeah.
He turns on everybody. But even
for no apparent reason.
like really, really no apparent reason. Like everyone in the trailer's like, but hey man, why did you turn on us? And he like turns to them and like
Cold stare.
That's it. That's all I got is a cold stare.
and that's it. And it leaves.
I don't think he says a word in this movie.
It's either a
in this
clone who
trailer.
can't talk, like, or it's like he's just undercover trying to infiltrate the bad guys, and he's got to pose as one. I'm sorry that I had to throw you guys out the plane, but I threw you parachutes when she wasn't looking.
I like how he stares down Michelle Rodriguez, and he's like giving her that like, I can't say it, and then Charlize Theron just shoves her tongue straight down his throat.
She's all like, she's like, I'm gonna.
Maybe that's why he doesn't say a word the whole movie, because she's sucked out his
Right.
voice
He's
box.
like, anytime I try to talk, that's how she keeps me quiet.
Why is she
I
dressed?
said I don't spill the beans.
Why is she dressed like a supervillain from Breakin'?
Electric Boogaloo?
I don't know, man.
you know,
She's overdressed for it.
She looks like the blonde version of John Travolta from Battlefield Earth.
Oh my God, they are trying. She's dressed like the inside of a Humvee. Like that's who decorated her.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, she's a little overdressed for the genre. She might have gotten lost on her way to the set for Power Rangers or something like that.
All sorts of accessories hanging off every
Just-
available area.
It's just like one of those things where it's like, yeah, you're just weirdly overdressed lady, super villain. Like, you know, this movie's high, you know, it's got to be high end.
And it's like, oh, Kurt Russell.
Oh, Kurt.
Oh, you really need the money? You really?
No,
I mean, I guess if they're paying you,
yeah,
you know,
what did he shave too? I think, right?
Yeah. Well, also Helen Mirren's evidently in this movie, and she didn't show up anywhere here. I'm trying to figure out where the fuck.
Oh, they're saving her for trailer 2 and 3.
Where does she fit in this?
They got 2 more trailers to go before this puppy comes out.
I really hope she's playing Vin Diesel's mom. I think that's like.
What is his name in those movies again? Vin Diesel's name in those Nick. Dominic.
Yeah,
He's Dominic.
Dom. Yeah.
That would be great if she plays his mother. And she's all like, Dominic, I thought I told you not to drive your cars around the living room. It's like a flashback to when he was a little kid.
Stop doing donuts in the yard.
And he's still got like no sleeves on his shirts. And he's like
Dominic
6,
Toretto. That's
bald, no sleeves on his shirt. And he's like, shut up, Mom.
He's got the
and he
pack
jumps
of
on her
Marlboros
back.
folded up in the sleeve.
Yeah, you know? Beats her up in his lunchbox. I'll take myself to school.
Yeah, his Fonzie lunchbox.
Right. It's all bent. It's all
Oh,
bent and
bent
shit.
around the corners
Yeah,
where
you
he's
know?
been beating people up
At
with
the
it.
school, we just start on that. We start the scene zoomed in on just the lunchbox, kind of going back and forth as he walks.
Just on the corner.
Yeah,
with the little
just on
blood
dent,
stains and
on
the dents.
little tuft of Mom's hair. You know, straightened her out. I did my homework because I'm a good guy.
Right.
Anyway.
He's 6 years old. Dogs like this.
Still talks like that. Yeah, they should have him voice himself as a kid, like he does. You know.
Yeah.
No, like
I thought it's all
to
right.
superimpose his giant head on the little kid.
Yeah, that's even better. I love it.
See, like I just remember Vin Diesel seeing him in like Boiler Room.
Uh-huh.
There's that point where they're in someone's house and Michael Douglas in Wall Street is on the TV, and Vin Diesel goes up and like quotes it verbatim.
Right.
And I just remember watching it and being like, just sit the fuck down, let me watch the movie.
We're not really impressed that you've seen it more than us.
Yeah.
That this is your fucking hero. Like, you think we didn't know that? You put it on.
Yeah.
He probably gave like a 5-minute PowerPoint presentation before that, too, that character. But anyway,
Yeah.
we're rolling fast here. So, next trailer up in here is, let's get serious for a minute, okay?
Really deadly.
Yeah, Dunkirk is Christopher Nolan's
Yeah. And,
next big thing.
and for a Nolan movie, there is not a speck of genre in here.
No, not at all. This is straightforward, buddy. This is World War II and
Yeah.
World War II? World War
Yeah,
I?
it's World War II.
Okay. And it's, it's his, not to say it's the same story, but it's his Saving Private Ryan. It's his big action war flick.
Yes.
With a very serious message and story.
Yes.
More serious than Saving Private Ryan, I would say, because...
Yeah, so this is before the U.S. entered the war. Dunkirk was a group of British soldiers who ended up basically being stranded.
Yeah.
Not stranded, but this, huge lame duck target for the Germans.
Yeah.
And, trying to work through that battle.
It's crazy. They're all out on the beach, like just thousands of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just a giant target. And they
Yeah.
just start getting wiped out like crazy.
Well, Britain totally wasn't ready for that part of the war.
Yeah, I mean,
The prime minister at the time was just a lame duck.
I'm gonna roll with that. I mean, I'm not good on the history and all that.
Neville Chamberlain.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Chamberlain. All right, Wilt. I guess Walt. I don't know what's his name. So go check it out.
Yeah.
Go check it out because it's one of these things where, like, Nolan shoots everything.
Churchill used to publicly trash him on a radio show while they were getting their asses kicked by the Germans.
Oh, okay.
He would predict what happened on his radio show, and
They would
would
pretty much go
they
down
would pretty
like
much
that?
go down like that, and then the prime minister didn't do a damn thing. For like 2 years before they started getting bombed, he didn't do anything. He could have stopped the whole thing. He could have prevented World War II.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit of history with Bob.
But this movie,
Doo-doo-bum-ba-dum-bum.
you've got an incredible cast here.
Who's in it? Tell me somebody in it.
Tom Hardy,
Yeah, I've seen him before.
Cillian Murphy,
He's all right. He's weird looking.
Mark Rylance,
I don't know who that is.
Kenneth Branagh.
I've heard of him.
It's done.
It's done. That's all you
Kenneth
need.
Branagh's in your movie.
It's just them.
That's it right there.
And they play everybody.
It's all done.
That's it. They play
It's a done
multiple.
thing.
They do multitudes.
Kenneth Branagh is there. I'm in. It's
It's done. That's it. Finished.
No, when I saw him in the trailer, I was like, "Oh, look at that guy!" In front of the camera.
He's in it and he's not directing. We're golden.
Amazing. We're gonna get something good. He did okay. All right. So the next one is if you like batshit crazy, kinda. Well, if you like batshit crazy, Nicolas Cage, he's in full force in a trailer called Arsenal.
Oh my god! And like,
folks.
Oh, this just sounds so out of the 80s.
The movie, the trailer for the movie itself, it's all over the place.
So here is the full synopsis on IMDb.
Okay.
A southern mobster attempts to rescue his kidnapped brother.
Fair enough.
That's it.
Okay.
So evidently that's what that trailer was about.
Wow, that's a real reduction. I was strapping in for another overlong synopsis and didn't get it.
That's all IMDb
There's a little more to it. This guy starts selling coke. He obviously fucks it up.
Yeah.
He's no good at it.
But
the brother gets in trouble. They take his girlfriend. But Nic Cage is the drug dealer, bro.
Mm-hmm. But you've got, for once, Vinny Chase is actually the star of a movie.
Yeah. That kid was looking all right in it. And even the guy who's playing like the main character, who was the least known person, I thought he was 7 different people before I saw his name and still didn't know who he was.
So yeah, evidently Adrian Grenier, well, no, he's the normal person that's just because of
Did you just pronounce his name as if it was like the real French pronunciation?
That's how he pronounces it.
Oh, that's how he does it. Okay.
Yeah. I think so.
Who cares how he pronounces it?
You're going to go with what everybody else is
We're in
doing.
America.
Okay,
you
so
say it the American pronunciation.
Yeah, Grenier.
There you go.
There you go.
Much better.
But evidently he... well, I think the only reason he seems like normal and down to earth is because of everything surrounding him in this movie.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Is like John Cusack, another character.
So, do you remember what you said earlier when you were watching?
Why is he in this movie?
And I'll tell you, because he grounds it. John Cusack, no, he's supposed to, but he's wearing a do-rag. And he's not doing like a street guy thing. He's just rocking a do-rag or some kind of Scully tie-behind bandana, black bandana thing. Like, I don't, like, what? But he's the most, him and I don't know. It's just all over the place. It just feels like it's all over the place.
Well, it's also like...
I feel like somebody who worked on Quentin Tarantino's staff was drunk, wrote a thing, and then it got coffee spilled on it, and somebody else had to rewrite it. That guy speaks a different language.
If you think like this is like a serious drug crime movie...
Right.
And then you just see Nicolas Cage's scenes...
Rocking...
And he's got this wig.
This fucking wig.
And it's obviously a wig.
Like, I feel like he was just... I had it on the trailer to get in the character. I'm going to leave it on. And they were like, fuck.
And I think the only, and that mustache even looks glued on.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's just everywhere.
I want a scene, though, like, if I get a scene where, like
I almost
if it's not mentioned, if it's a thing where it's not addressed or mentioned, I don't know if that's brilliance or madness, but, like, I kind of want, I don't know which way I want it. Do I want a scene that explains it because I get to see that guy with bald and, like, maybe it's part of his madness. He puts on this wig that doesn't fool anybody, but he's a mental case. He puts on this mustache, glues it that doesn't fool anybody.
Right.
But it's bald.
So unless you've seen a scene that like explains all that insanity,
yeah, maybe we get that because the wig is like not supposed to fool anybody.
No,
like it might as well be a woman's wig cut to fit, and then like he does this weird part in the front, like just real Poindexter
you can't
thing.
even see where it's like woven into the plastic.
Basically,
mesh.
it might as well, yeah, But
okay,
over the top.
I'm gonna play some audio from this trailer.
Okay, all right. So line up your mic there a little bit close to the dash.
Woven into the plastic.
Might as well, yeah. Oh, hold on, you got the audio from the show. It's fine. That was a good show that I just heard there. That sounded familiar.
Yeah, it did. That was a real sexy voice there for a second.
Brothers, don't worry about me. Listen, you talk to you about drinking. It's always something.
Is it true what I heard? You bought some coke, you wanted to flip it?
What do you want me to say? So you're a drug dealer now?
Where's my coke? Where is it?
Your brother's always getting into trouble.
It's Mikey. I owe everything to him.
I think we're even.
Oh, you think we're even, you and I know of a way we're...
Oh, you think we're even, you and I?
That was Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. No, it couldn't have been anybody else.
Yeah, the whole thing took a left.
Dude, you were kidding. That looks like a piece of rug on his
It's
head.
not
literally like a shag rug.
You know what it
brushed
looks like?
out and over
It looks
his head.
like Barbie doll hair.
Yes, that's what it looks
Like a nylon wig.
Yeah, really.
Get himself killed.
Mikey, you have a daughter.
Like, what? Like, it doesn't even... Hey, look, don't get me wrong. Like, they just hire him. Like, it's like, hey, Nick, we got another, like, really batshit crazy character. You want to give it a go? All right, it's a paycheck,
Well,
right?
evidently he spends money like there's no tomorrow. Like, he really...
Yeah?
Like, he has a house that in Malibu next to another house he bought in Malibu.
I bought a house. I put it inside a house that's inside another house.
Some stars I've heard will do that so that they have a lot of private property.
Yeah.
So that,
but then up your equity.
Paparazzi, the
paparazzi don't know where you are.
They can't. No, it's not even. It's just the distance. They're too far.
No, it's one
you got one estate next to another estate, and then you got another estate on the other side. Now, once you go block off one side, they're like half a mile away.
I have to buy 2 buffer houses on each side of my house in the middle. To have a zone.
But he couldn't afford either of them.
Fair enough.
That's why he keeps doing movies, because he has the money.
I try to sell off all my comic books. Nobody really want them.
He can just keep making Drive Angry over and over again. I think that's okay enough where he can just keep making money.
Fair enough. All right, so we're trying to keep this one tight. So we got about 10 minutes into the hour here.
Get some emails?
We do have a few emails. Everybody loves emails. Ed, you used to send us emails. I remember. I remember when you used to do that. Emails. Lots and lots of emails, ladies and gentlemen. Emails. If you like emails, you can send us some emails. Jesus Christ, I can't believe it. All right. So, if you want to send us emails, send them to podcast@wickedtheory.com. Because we're a podcast. All right, so I got one from Mixler, and it says, hey, your stuff is on. Thank you, Mixler. Oh. Okay. Let's start from the bottom, because that's the order they came in. So we got one here from James Hazelden. You might remember him as James from Louisiana. He's not in the chat room today, but he usually is. He's in a tough locale down there in the southern states where he doesn't always get the best reception, and usually it's mentioned in his emails, which it might be this time as well. All right, I'm finally listening to the show again without the horrendous lag of chunks missing. I completely missed the actual plot of Ed's pitch that day, searching for the hairbrush, something about... because
toothbrush.
The toothbrush was the thing in the last week's first pitch. So he goes on, which made me think of a song. Here's a link to the song. I looked it up earlier. It's a kid's song all about a hairbrush, da 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 da. So I'm guessing James has got some kids, and he's sat through a whole lot of torturous, so these are the things that pop into your head, So he goes, I don't expect you to play it, but later you can listen to the band members. They had fun improvising the cartoon character voices for the different parts of this cover. So man, hey, it was awesome to hear Dom again. I'm glad he's doing good, but it was kind of sad that there was no Ed mail for him. So I guess maybe that was the angle we used to have on that a little bit.
Well, because Ed would write it, Dom would read it.
I think it was either that.
I think he did it once or twice.
Okay. Or maybe just the fact that, wow, it's been so long. Wow, maybe he means if it's been so long since Dom was on here that we used to do that then. Yeah. So that would be the setup. Mm-hmm. It triggered something in him. Sad. Okay, I would like to point out that...
No.
Fair enough, I agree. No, okay. I would like to point out that on my predictions for pitch versus pitch, I'm now 2 for 3. Bob won the first, and I got Ed last week. But sadly, due to arrogance, I lost the middle week because of the big Wicked Theory production studios passed on my script that I took to Lionsgate and did over $1 billion in ticket sales opening weekend. Oh. Well, hey, man,
Oh, good for you. Give us our cut.
Yeah, that's all. I mean,
It was us that motivated you to write it, so we need some money.
We wouldn't turn it down. So instead, I'll make a movie review prediction for Rogue One.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Before I read this, you should know that he has since sent in another email that we will get into during the Rogue One talk later on.
Okay.
Okay, so so now that he actually sidetracks himself in this, so let's talk about something else. But he says, so instead I'll make a movie review prediction for Rogue One. The entire staff at Vox are stupid idiots. I know Bill is somewhat new to Twitter, which is not true, so I doubt he saw the big mistake that Vox made with their article on Rogue One but it had Twitter going better than the Trump humper cultists trying to get a boycott of the movie going. Apparently, the people at Vox just now realized that Star Wars is a series of movies about a war. After the first 6 movies titled Star Wars, they didn't get to it. They didn't get it. So when the word war once again appears in the subtitle, they finally realized it. So the Twitterverse was filled with hashtag #VoxAMovie tweets that were very entertaining. Okay. Let me see here, because I think he just gets into the movie then real quick. But here's the thing. So, actually, I kind of disagree with him on this. Well, first of all, I totally did see it the day of. I'm on Twitter constantly. I just don't tweet constantly, but like all day at work, my Twitter is open.
Right. And it's not your fault when Agent Palmer, who's supposed to be doing your bidding on Twitter, isn't doing his job.
I don't know what that has. I don't know.
Well,
in general, I'll give you that. He only is allowed to tweet during the show because I can't tweet about the show during the show. So if you're ever listening to the show and you see me tweet like, "Hey, come listen to us. We're live right now," that's not me doing it. That's.
I mean, he used to do stuff like the Clamor, so he should be tweeting too.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with him because this email is talking about whether or not I saw something online. So Palmer would have nothing to do with whether or not I saw something online.
Right. All
right. So anyway. So fair enough. So the point being that when I saw this all going down on Twitter, I was kind of surprised because to me it said that no one really kind of scanned the article really, because the headline of the article was written sarcastically or sardonically, where it's Rogue One is actually the first Star Wars movie to acknowledge that there is a war going on, basically, and so, but. Rather than kind of like latch onto it, everyone's like kind of ridiculed Vox for saying like, well, what are you guys, stupid? Like, of course there's a war going on. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah,
but it's more subtle than that because the article goes into the fact of how this movie shows war in a more realistic way. Yeah. And that's the whole point of the article. Mm-hmm. And so that's why it's in the title. So instead, a lot of people who I feel like didn't read it or just don't like Vox, because Vox has its own political standpoints on things, love to shit on it.
Well, because the other movies, well, you know, they are called Star Wars. They're action adventure.
They glaze over.
Yeah.
This movie, spoiler, people die. Like, you know, in the Star Wars, the regular movies, you get one here, one there, a lot of off-camera kind of stuff. And this one,
implied stuff.
A lot of implied stuff. Usually that's the only way you really get it.
Right.
And this one tries to do a lot of that, like, up front in your face. Not really the kid-friendly movies that these have always been. This is more of a slightly more mature kind of approach to it all.
Yeah, I mean, it's still blood-free, all that stuff.
We're going to get into all that.
No obvious, visible deaths.
Yeah, but point being that this movie is about war. So this article was about that. So everybody kind of jumped on it the way that the internet loves to do. Yeah. Like if we kind of don't, or if our little group kind of really doesn't like you and you take a misstep, we're going to jump all over you. So that's the world that we live in now. So, you know, heaven forbid, you know, anybody tries to fucking be witty, if you leave them an angle to kind of shit on you, they'll do it. That's just the world we live in. So I'm not going to sit here and defend Vox like for their political stance when they write articles, but I know that's why so many people were eager to kind of latch onto them and poke fun at them because they run a little left in their points of view and their article and their reporting on regular issues. So as soon as they drop the ball on Star Wars, a lot of these people who were already giving them a hard time were kind of like, "Oh, look at you! You're a bunch of jerk-off morons." And meanwhile, it's like, yeah, maybe the headline could have been worded a little bit more clearly. Yeah. To show you that that's what the article was about, but it wasn't them saying like, you know, hey, you know, like it wasn't. No, they latched on to goof on them. So I'm not trying to say, oh, pity them or anything. No, I don't give a shit. But since James has pointed out, that's just my angle on the whole thing because I kind of felt like everybody kind of jumped the gun and missed the beat a little bit. It was a little bit of jumping on them a little undeservingly, you know. Hey, if Vox does something stupid, jump on them all you want, or any website or any reporting outfit. If somebody makes an asinine statement, but if their whole gist of the article is the same exact thing, like you're basically kind of having an issue with, like I don't get it. Like, you know, it's just it's a multi-layered. But anyway, I'm moving on. So in this email he goes on to actually talk about the movie, and he says, so the Twitterverse was filled with the Vox movie tweets. They were very entertaining. Well, many prediction. Like every other Disney Star Wars movie, it'll be over-the-top bad. Remember now, he's predicting. This is the key point of this because we'll get back to this later.
He's predicting this is going to be a bad
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, you know.
Okay.
It'll be over the top bad. It wasn't in the Star Wars universe. It would be bashed by everybody bad. But the fact that it's Star Wars will save it on publicity, and people will like it because it's Star Wars. So that's his angle before seeing it on what Rogue One's going to be. He says, I'm also still going through my TV show withdrawal, so getting to the DCTV report from Ed has been a huge help in keeping up with plots. Thank you, Ed.
Cool.
Sure. It was nice. Very nice.
Cool.
All right. This is long enough now, so it's over. Great show, guys. I'm probably in the chat room trying to listen. Still no still so effing pissed at Verizon for their slow internet speeds. Well, James, I hope you can get that resolved soon. Thanks for the email. We'll be hearing from you again shortly. All right, so then we got one from Stephanie from Gotham Lights Podcast.
Sammy!
Sammy. Hello, Sammy.
Hi, Sammy. How are you?
How are you? She says, hey, you guys. I hope everything is going well. Sorry for missing an email last week. I was busy seeing Mamma Mia with my mom and a group of friends. It was a lot of fun.
Mamma Mia.
But this weekend, I'm back with another email. Christmas is next weekend, so in the spirit of the season, here are a couple of questions for you guys. What are your favorite Christmas movies? And although you guys don't seem the Christmas music listening type, if you had to choose one Christmas song to represent the Wicked Theory during the holiday, what song would that be? That's it for me. Take care, guys, and Merry Christmas, your pal Steph. All the way from BBC One. Aww. I watched a little bit of BBC One radio stuff this weekend.
So you've been practicing your accent?
A little bit.
It's getting good, I say.
A little bit.
All right, so...
it's getting closer.
Yeah, it was fun.
I got to watch Hugh Jackman spit all over a kid over and over and over again.
Favorite Christmas movies?
Favorite Christmas movies? Yeah. Jeez.
Well, actually...
Well, I think we know Ed's.
Yeah, we know.
I'm
Fill it
throwing,
in.
for those who are listening, if you're
available, if you're around.
Those in the mixer will know this. Those listening to this afterwards, it'll already have happened. But Sunday night, Sunday afternoon, rather, December 18th.
Yeah,
I will be hosting a little get together at my humble abode, where I will be doing a double feature of my two favorite Christmas movies, Lethal Weapon and Die Hard.
Oh my gosh. How ironic!
Yeah,
yes,
you got a 2-story tall viewing screen, right?
Yeah, you rented one of those big
with
inflatable
giant surround sound setup.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
because that'll fit in my living room.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because sure as fuck ain't sitting outside in this weather.
Yeah,
but I'm excited. I don't know if that's the word.
You seem really excited.
So what are those movies?
Lethal Death,
Lethal Weapon,
and Hard Weapon,
and Die Hard.
What's your Hard Weapon?
Die Hard.
All right.
Hard Weapon Bill sounds like a porno movie.
That's what I'm saying. It does. Hard Weapon Volume 6. Are there going to be snacks?
Yes.
Anything particular?
My
do you not want to jinx it?
No. Well, I have the ingredients for my father's recipe for cream cheese and onion dip.
Okay.
Yeah.
6-foot hero.
So you've got a piece of paper, is what you're telling me. Yeah, you have the recipe. You may make it, you may not. Is that what that's going to come to? I don't know if it's going to happen.
Oh, no, I'm making that dip.
You may not share it. I got you. All right.
No, we got, chips, dip, soda.
So those are you.
BYOB.
So bring your own boys and berries.
Yeah, catered by Pronto Pizzeria.
Pronto Pizzeria. Mm-hmm. So here's the question. Christmas movies. Your two, I guess, would fall into that. Those are good Christmas movies.
I mean, if you're looking for more traditional fare, I would say my favorite's probably A Christmas Story.
All right, that's a classic. That's a classic. Got burned into our brains, being run over and over and over on TV.
Because it's so good.
Don't forget your Ovaltine.
Mm-hmm. My father wove a tapestry of obscenities that, as far as we know, is still hanging in space over Lake Michigan.
It's long. It was a long run.
Oh, it looks like it came from France.
It's fragile.
It's fragile.
Must be Italian.
Funny. All right, so for me, I don't know. I feel like I don't know if movies. I mean, maybe Home Alone, because that's kind of Christmas related. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean, in that way. But like Christmas TV specials, probably more than movies.
A Star Wars Christmas, maybe.
the He-Man Christmas special, which always
Star Wars.
Which, because it makes no sense, is always great.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
Well, you shouldn't because it didn't make any sense. You probably blocked it out. You were probably like, wait a minute, was Jesus on Eternia? Like, how did this happen? How did you guys end up at Christmas on another planet in some kind of made-up dimension or some shit? Like, wherever this planet is.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the power of Jesus, I guess. And Santa. Mm-hmm. Santa gets around.
And psychedelic drugs.
Yeah, that probably didn't hurt it at all.
Not during production, I'm sure.
Well, you know what it is, too. It's like, well, we need to do a holiday special. Like, it was back in those days when, like, every show, like, just had to do holiday specials at least once so that you could rerun it every holiday season. Yeah. You know, you only had to do the one, really, especially for a cartoon. But, so there's that, the He-Man Christmas episode. Weird. Just a little awkward. But then she goes on and she also asks about a Christmas song to represent Wicked Theory during the holiday. What song would that be? To represent the show? I kind of want to say like something with the Misfit Toys.
Oh, okay. I was thinking maybe Heat Miser.
Heat Miser, Ice Miser. That I looked up a little bit of this before the show, so that could use a cover or redo.
You're a mean one.
There's the Grinch.
Mr. Grinch.
I thought that was probably more on me because I'm salty. Whatever that means. I've been told that. I'm salty. But, I hear it at work. So, I guess I don't...
what kind of Christmas music do they play at your job?
Just whatever we put on. There's only two of us. We don't pipe that shit in or anything. You guys have it piped in at your job?
No, not at my job. Not my current job.
No, the Staples.
When I worked there for years.
Oh, my God, you poor thing. Like, that's torturous. I look, to work all day and have any radio station going on, I don't care what it is, unless it's like a college station where there's like no ads and it just constantly changes. Then fine. But any regular radio station is abysmal because it's all the same shit all day. Then on top of that, you're making a fucking Christmas station for fucking 8 weeks?
No, it gets better.
That's what happens to 106.7 because that's what's on the car and work.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's regional, but everybody's doing
this was a satellite station that was geared specifically for every Staples in the country.
No, yeah. A lot of the chains do that.
Their Christmas... all of their songs were like hacky covers, like second rate...
Oh my God!
Like public domain.
Yeah, not even the original. It's a bottom barrel.
Yeah, like there's this one cover. It's not a Christmas song, but I remember there's one cover they used to always play of Aerosmith's "Dream On," but it was like as if Celine Dion was doing it.
Oh my God!
So all the instrumentals were gone.
Dream on,
dream on, dream. And it was just
what torture! What torture!
No, but
so Christmas must have been even worse then because they're probably not even playing like the Bing Crosby's or anything good.
No, but like
Tears for Fears
Muzak versions with vocals.
The song that they used
John
to play
Lennon Christmas song
during Christmas, which is not a Christmas song, but from The Sound of Music, these are a few of my favorite things.
Sure. Right.
They put some kind of like Christmas melody to it.
Oh my God.
And it was the
all you
kind
gotta do
of
is throw sleigh bells in.
It was torturous.
Yeah, I bet.
But the worst part was you'd forget about it because it's in the background. You're there 8 hours a day.
Kind of comes in and
it
out.
goes in the background.
Right.
But every half hour or so, a different customer will walk up to you and go, "Oh my God, if I had to listen to this all day, I'd kill myself."
You should turn around and be like, you know what? I got to listen to people telling me all day how they kill themselves if they had to listen to this all day.
You don't really mind it. You don't really notice it until another customer comes up and reminds you about it.
You should have done something.
You should just next time it happens, you should just turn around and say, "Did you bring me a gun?"
I was going to say you should have did some slow spin around and said something really dramatic.
Quick ways to get fired.
Good times, good times. All right, so let's jump over. So James Hazelden, oddly enough. Did I know this was coming? He's got an email all about it. I'm trying to skim it here to remind myself whether or not it's got anything really kind of spoilery. No, but if we do recall, he did predict that it would kind of not be good. Was more or less his angle.
Isn't that the one we're saving for the after show?
Well, we could do that.
Yeah,
we could save that.
We'll save it for the
We'll save that. We'll jump to Agent Palmer. Agent Palmer. Agent Palmer. Reporting for duty. All right. He says, gentlemen, what movie or television series from this year would you most like to rewatch again for the first time as if it had been wiped from your memory?
Mr. Robot. Mr. Robot.
Mr. Robot? You'd like a fresh reboot?
Mr. Robot.
Fresh restart?
Yes, Mr. Robot.
Okay.
Mr. Robot.
Mr. Robot?
Mr. Robot.
I'm sorry. Couldn't hear it. What was it?
Mr. Robot.
Ed, I'm sorry. Are you saying Mr. Robot?
Are you saying Monsieur Roberto? Roboto?
No.
Tomo Arigato, Mr. Roboto?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Robot.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Just checking. I'd make Westworld my answer for that, maybe. Just because I can't think of a TV series from this year that was as good as that. You know, Stranger Things was really pretty good for what it was trying to be, rather, I should say.
Well, Westworld would require a second viewing
anyway. You know what I mean? So I don't know if I want to be mind wiped from that one because I'm like, oh my God, I got to start over with that.
Yeah, you might just be just as lost going into episodes 8 and 9 as
you know
as you were the first time.
So I'm leaning towards that way. Anything for you, Bob? Anything that
I'm kind of drawing a blank right now.
That would
refresh.
What
was the question
what's a
again?
show from this year that you
a show or a movie, right?
Yeah, that you would rewatch again for the first time as if it had been wiped from your memory. That you would like to kind of come in again with fresh eyes, be able to say, "Oh, let me watch that again."
Well, my first instinct is to start thinking about things that might have been bad, but then that would kind of be like torture, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So
it's very. I don't want to be a shrink here.
Maybe Captain America: Civil War because it was such a good such a good movie that to get that experience again might be fun.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know what I'm thinking right now is like. Because rewatching it, like I want to skip ahead to like the cool shit. Like
right.
Whereas when you watch it the first time, you got the patience for it. You're like, oh, let it unfold.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like you don't jump.
That's a movie that like the action builds constantly throughout the movie, and it's just at a steady pace, and everything just so you get a lot of enjoyment out of it.
Fair enough.
Anything else?
Palmer's got one for. The Rogue One talk as well. Remind me when we come back to this.
Sure.
That so to be continued. So what's going to happen moving forward now? Because we're past the hour.
Well, there's still one part of the main show that's left,
which is
we actually kind of.
Oh, we kind of did. We kind of did the lists. We did some lists.
Well, actually, no. I was going to say the thing that usually comes right after the news.
Yeah,
that you may want to cue up that sound cue
for. Oh my gosh. I'm all out of sequence here. I'm trying to run through things. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, I forgot all about the DC TV report. I'm sorry, Ed.
It's okay.
Do you forgive me?
Well, we could still fit it in now. I think we may be able to squeeze it in.
All right.
To understand what I'm about to tell you, you need to do something first. You need to believe in the impossible. Can you do that?
Welcome to the DC TV report for the week ending in December 27th, 2016.
Hoo-ha.
I'm Edward O'Hare.
You are.
Nickname to be determined.
We'll figure it out.
And with commentary from Bill Sweeney
That's
and
me.
Brother Bob Sweeney.
That's him.
Hi.
Of the Wicked Theory podcast.
Indeed.
Okay, so
what do we got?
So for this week, you know, because our recap, we cover live action television programs based on DC Comics.
That's the hook.
And none of those shows actually had episodes this week.
Yeah. You got anything? You got something?
Well, there was something that premiered on Cartoon Network yesterday.
Well, I think that's going to have to fill a place. Ed, what do you got?
It was an animated show called Justice League Action.
Justice League Action.
Yes.
Ed, was there action in it?
Oh, boy.
Yeah?
Oh, boy, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because it should.
Yeah. So it was a 1 hour. I think these are going to be shorter, like kind of like Teen Titans, like 15-minute blocks.
Okay.
They're going to be doing cake baking,
Yeah.
that kind of thing, right?
Not quite.
Not quite.
It's going to be... No, this actually looks like a straight-up Justice League show.
Okay.
But the character designs are a little bit more cartoonish. I would say closer to kind of like what our Art Baltazar and Franco do.
Okay.
Tell
me about it,
So
Ed.
Shazam Slam.
Oh, that's right. This was the one you were waiting for.
Yes. Batman bumps into the wizard Shazam, and Black Adam comes back and unleashes a bunch of djinn that the Justice League have to track down.
Slow it down. Two things. Two things. One, that when you say the wizard Shazam,
yes,
that the old man is a wizard. His name is Shazam.
Yes.
When he bestows the powers onto the kid, that kid is known as Shazam as well.
Yes.
All right.
Well, now he is. Used to be
What? Yeah.
was
Let's not
Captain
get into the legal ramifications of it all. But point being, so there's no confusion.
Yes. So they call him the wizard.
Because
in
I'm
this.
always
Yeah.
confused.
The wizard.
I always think other people are confused.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay.
And when you say gin, you don't mean a drink.
No, I mean like evil genies.
Right, J-I-N. Right?
DJINN.
Oh,
Yes.
like your name.
Jinn.
Like these your names.
Yeah. So basically, so evil, monstrous bad guys get leashed out into the world, and the Justice League have to round them up. And there's a big brouhaha with Black Adam at the end, and Shazam shows up. Or I call him Captain Marvel.
I like how you say brouhaha.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people.
I call him Shazam.
Not a lot of people use the word brouhaha.
No. No, it's not a thing.
No.
So anyway, you got to see Batman, you got to see Shazam, you got to see Superman, Wonder Woman, Parasite. In terms of villains, you also saw Booster Gold, Cyborg, and then you even saw some Justice League dark characters.
So dark.
You had John Constantine, which I love because they do the whole British thing where it sounds like gibberish and no one understands what he's saying.
Oh, it's like some Cockney slang kind of thing or something of sorts.
Yeah, you had Swamp Thing.
So he's Kenny from South Park.
Basically.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, except he does magic.
He's more like
in a rumpled blazer and tie.
It's more like the bit in Snatch where they can't understand the one guy because he's only like this.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So So
did he say stuff like
arse face then?
Did he say stuff like I need a right Rogering?
Yeah. It's
Bugger me in the bum?
Well, no, not quite that.
Okay, fair enough. Just checking.
But
Bugger me in the bum?
Yeah.
All right.
You had Swamp Thing voiced by Mark Hamill.
What?
Yeah.
So he sounded like the Joker.
No, actually, he sounded like Mark Hamill.
Dear friends, welcome to the swamp.
And Plastic Man was in there too.
So, no, seriously though, how was Mark Hamill as Swamp Thing? Was that like, could you hear him in there because you knew it was him?
You could tell it was Mark Hamill just because I've heard his voice so
So you
much
know
on
his
other stuff.
yeah, you can just hear him.
But like there was nothing like jokery about it. He was just
Oh no, I
yeah.
would thank God. I
So he
wouldn't
was like
think so.
Cockknocker from
Yeah.
Jay and Silent Bob Strike
Yeah,
Back.
no. He
guess.
sounded like Swamp Thing. He sounded like a normal guy who just happens to be
Oh, okay, you
He
really
is-
didn't. I thought maybe they would go like left
Yeah.
field.
My old man would by day, Swamp Thing by night.
Hi, I am Swamp Thing. Don't mind the mess. Mm-hmm. All right.
and it's cute fun. It's geared
right.
geared towards 9 and 10-year-olds.
Very cool.
And so I
so
laughed.
you loved it because that's right. That's for you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Right up your alley, Ed.
I see your eyes getting watery already. You
Yeah, it was
DC
cool.
lover.
Like, I haven't seen those characters on screen for a while. And the Teen Titan stuff is okay.
I will say this. You know what? Like Marvel obviously gets all the ballyhoo, whatever that is for the movies. DC is still chasing down and doing like really great animation stuff. And I feel like Marvel's animation stuff is just locked up on Disney and it's pure kid shit. Whereas for a hot minute before Disney bought them up, they made some direct to DVD animated stuff, which was pretty good, which was trying to kind of run the line of teens, for teenagers, you know what I mean? Like that, like
they
it
did
was
like
just shy of cursing, you know what I mean? Kind of a thing. And
well, they did like an Ultimate Avengers and
Yeah.
and what was it, Wolverine and the X-Men.
they did a few of these things, and they kind of stopped doing them, I think, because now they don't want to. I think they're worried about cross confusion for. I think the last thing they did was this Punisher, Black Widow thing. But my point being that I'm just kind of jealous that. Like, you've got this kind of thing that it just kind of always has something kind of coming. Like, you know what I mean? The animation department over there is just kind of always, whether it's on Cartoon Network or their independent stuff, there's always something kind of coming.
Yeah, and they're,
that's usually pretty good.
Yeah, and their independent stuff is hit or miss.
Yeah.
But, when it hits, it's really cool.
When it hits, it hits hard.
When it misses, at least you get, at least half the Killing Joke is pretty good. It's...
At least the part that was exactly like the book was good, serviceable. I
Yeah,
as
so
far as that
but
goes.
yeah, so the DC TV report, we cover
Mhm.
live action DC shows.
Normally.
Yeah, but since there was nothing else on,
we
I
had
thought-
nothing
I
else
thought we
on
might
this
as
week.
well.
I don't know what you're going to do next week or the next
Mhm.
time around.
Mhm.
You're just going to have to make shit up. I
Well,
think.
there'll be report that there's nothing to report.
Report here, sir. So there's nothing to report here, sir.
Well, you could do a rerun of a previous report.
Yeah.
Previously on the DC TV report, I talked about this.
Yeah.
Then we'll play a clip.
Exactly.
If you're going, oh my God, I love this thing so much, I have to talk about it.
And then we'll end it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
No, I know.
I was spot on.
All right.
Yeah.
But
seeing Shazam with all those guys, it makes me, like wonder when is he going to get his CW version?
So how often is this coming out now? This is weekly,
I
or this
don't
is
know.
just intermittent?
I think it's like weekly. I don't know what the plan is. They just had this one special.
And it's called
Justice League Action.
And it's on
Cartoon Network.
All right. And what are you going to give it? What are you going to, like a rating? It's an amazing out of amazing.
This is all the American hot dogs.
Oh, my God. The whole pack.
Yeah, smothered in sauerkraut and onions.
They do come in 8-packs.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
we work it out like
Yeah,
that.
we usually only do 5.
Chili cheese. I'll even throw some coleslaw on that.
Oh, my God. Now you're just being ridiculous. So you're going to give it 5?
Yes.
Legit 5.
If
You've never given anything 5, I don't think.
No.
just want to put that out there. This is the thing that gets
this
a 5.
Is a cartoon, Ed.
And that's fair. It could happen. But
I gave Captain America Civil War a 5.
Oh my God, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
And after I made everyone else give it something lower than that.
Right. You probably talked us all down
Yeah.
too. You're like, really? Like a
Yeah.
5? You want to give it a 5? All right, I'll give it a 4 and a
Nothing
half.
gets a 5 here.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, this is a 5.
And then meanwhile, it gets to you, and it's like, and we didn't even pick up on it, probably.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't. Your evil plan.
Palmer did.
Palmer did. He probably did. He probably called
Yeah.
you out on it. Probably wrote you a scathing letter and mailed it out.
Mhm.
All right, so we do have one more segment. Obviously, we kind of forgot we were going to do it. We are at an hour 20. We can bang it out real quick. So I told the guys, we're coming up to a year end. Maybe we'll do some more next week too. We'll see where this goes, when we come out of this. But I said, it's year end. It's the end of the year. There's lists. I don't know. We're a podcast. We're a show. We're on the web. We're on the internet. That means I think there's an obligation for us to do lists at the end of the year. I think that's like in the deal I signed with Satan, the devil himself, in order to get this show going.
Wait, my buddy?
No, different one. Different one. The original. The older one.
I thought you did go down to the crossroads, right?
I did. I was there, and they were like, you can't play guitar. You shouldn't be here.
Right, you're supposed to bring me.
Yeah. Well, I was like, I'm barely...
This way, if he didn't do it for you, he could do it for me, and then I could support the show.
Fair enough, but I just kind of felt like I can barely remember to get myself to places. So the fact that I forgot to bring you makes sense. So what I said to the guys was, hey, look, rather than trying to put some kind of crazy setup and restriction on it, you just bring whatever end of year type list you want to bring. So whether it's 5 or it's 10, just bring like one list, however you want to present it. It doesn't have to be 5 or 10, but whatever you want to bring. Yeah. So I opened the door to you guys. It was very random.
Right.
Let's see what happened. Does anybody in particular want to go first, or are we going to make the teacher pick somebody?
Bob, go first.
That's not how it goes. Ed. So Ed,
Ed, you go first.
So Ed, you go first.
Okay.
That's what happens when you volunteer
Ed
others.
likes to do that too.
When you volunteer others.
That I have noticed about you, Ed. You always want everybody else.
I think that's a thing, right? At like school, if you volunteer others, you volunteer yourself. Is what happens.
Yeah, it works.
Fair enough. So Ed, what's your list and what's on it, buddy?
Okay, all right. So I did what we did last year, which was the top 5 pop culture moments.
Okay, very cool. Very cool.
And so I've had this in my. I'm typing this now. I've had this in my head. This wasn't. But
so are you saying you were unprepared, Ed?
No.
And
are you saying
I was
when I made you go
prepared?
first, you got called out, and you were caught unprepared.
So number 5.
There's going to be some demerits. Oh, my God. No gold stars today.
Okay, so
all right.
number 5.
Number 5
is Deadpool.
Deadpool. And these are...
Top 5.
These are the top moments. These are the best moments of the year. Is
Yes.
what you're saying. Okay, very good. Very
My
good.
favorite pop culture moments.
Very good. I like
because it took the superhero genre, which we are embroiled in the middle of, and it showed us something different.
Yeah. That's how you know you're at the halfway point, I think, for a trend. When, like, something's kind of going, somebody comes in and switches it around, and it gets cool again for a second because it's a different view, and then no one could top that, and
Yeah.
it just dies out. So we might be hitting that point. May not have been Deadpool necessarily, but
well, this reminds me a lot of Sin City in the fact that it was the closest thing you can get to an exact adaptation of a comic book, and that's
Bring
pretty
it
much
to
what
life.
Sin City is.
Yeah,
and like you just said, you couldn't top that because they tried 10 years later and it didn't work.
You definitely couldn't reproduce that, make that work.
But it
was an inferior book too.
Yeah,
they were running with scraps in part 2.
But with Deadpool, I think, and this is another example of something where you have the fear that Hollywood is going to take the wrong lessons from it.
Yeah,
which is that everyone seems to think, oh well, you could do R-rated superhero movies.
Yeah, just throw it on everything,
which is not
necessarily
not really
the case.
The lesson here.
No,
the lesson here, I think, is if you want the audience for something to show up, you go full force and bring up the true essence of that character. What makes that work?
Right.
Yes, and that's what they did with Deadpool. That is the way he was in that movie is exactly how he reads on the comic book page.
And that's why the sequel can still work, even if they go bigger budget or go someplace else with it. As long as he is that same guy, you can stick him anywhere. You could stick him inside. They think. Supposedly the word is that they don't know what else to do with him. Like they don't think he'll work in like a really grounded X-Men movie.
Yeah,
right.
I think now that he's established, he'll steal the movie. But fuck it,
right?
Well, stop him in something.
The one thing that they couldn't quite get right in the Deadpool movie was his insanity.
The true.
He comes off as being like Spider-Man, just like over the top. He's got. In the comic book, he's got 2 voices going on in his head besides his own, and he talks to them all the time.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And that's actually how he gets through things in the comic book.
There's a lot of different kind of angles they take with him, and that is a thing that happens for a long run. That also, too, it gets the breaking the fourth wall gets deep at a certain point with him. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if they kind of play with any more of his kind of those kinds of elements. In the sequels, or if they just kind of stick with what they've established, and that's the limit of breaking the fourth wall. Yeah, that was my base. Sorry. So just curious. All right, Ed, we're detracting you from your list.
Yeah, sorry.
No problem. Okay,
we got to keep on pace here.
Fair enough.
All right. So next up, I'm going to do the Heroes vs. Aliens crossover.
Okay.
On CW TV. That was 4 nights where it was really
All
cool.
right.
Where a lot of people watched it.
Sure.
And it's always great to see superhero team ups.
All right.
To see all of those DC heroes together. It was fun, and they had an adventure, and it was coherent, and it worked.
Yeah, it was good to see it. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, I mean, you could have done it in probably 2 hours instead of 4. But,
sure.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I just
it wasn't perfect, but it was overall well done.
I would say it was certainly
a success.
Can't wait to see them do it again.
Yeah,
hope that they'll it'll be better next time.
Yeah, they'll refine it. I'm sure.
Yeah, that was probably quite the undertaking for them to make work as well as it did.
Yeah.
So
next up, also in the vein of DC superheroes, but this is on the comics, which is Rebirth.
Rebirth overall, the DC relaunch that went down this year.
Just that first story, we get Wally West, a character who had disappeared.
Wally West.
From the landscape a few years ago.
Wally West.
Wally West. Where he remembers that he's dressed as Kid Flash, but he remembers that he was the Flash.
Yeah.
And you get that story, and you see the tie-in and the big spoiler at the end where you see the direction that this is going, and they've touched on that a little bit, but they're still not really... and I can't wait to see them going into that direction. And, next week we're starting with Justice League vs. Suicide Squad, which is their first big... crossover event, and it's nice to something that got me back into reading comics again regularly every week.
Now you sampled all of the Rebirth books?
Yes.
How many? Now obviously budget probably wouldn't allow for you to maintain them all anyway, but how many of DC's regular titles?
No, I still pick up everything.
Okay, fair enough. Just asking.
I pick up all the DC titles, and I pick up number ones from all the big companies. That's
fair enough.
That's how I organize.
But you're following a few series from other people though too, right?
I trade bait everything.
Okay,
I trade bait everything.
Right, you wait for trade paperback.
Yeah,
collected.
But my favorite of those series is Superman by Peter Tomasi so far.
The Superman main title.
Yeah, which turn super animated into a family book. So next up, number 4-2, however you're counting.
Sure.
Mr. Robot.
Mr. Robot.
Yes, I mentioned it before. This is an incredible TV show because every episode, it changes the game.
Okay.
Because the whole idea is that your main character, he has an alternate way of perceiving reality.
Right.
And he's not even sure what he's seeing is real.
Yeah. Okay.
And there was one episode in particular where stuff
Careful.
went down. And
Don't ruin it for me.
No,
because I'm gonna catch up on it.
I know you're gonna catch up on it, but we spent a whole episode where he perceived reality as if it was
one thing,
a '90s family sitcom.
Shut the fuck up.
Yes.
Shut the fuck up.
They even had commercials from.
Shut the fuck up. That makes no sense. I saw the pilot, so I understand the world of the show.
Yes.
And how like that just doesn't jibe. Now I want to see it so bad. Say that's season 2.
That's season 2. Yes.
All right, please just say no more.
They even threw.
Don't you fucking dare ruin fun for me too. Because I understand, like people think, like if I just don't ruin story turns, that's not a big deal.
This isn't a story.
But I almost feel like telling me that about it being a '90s thing for an episode. Like that would have been so great to stumble into on my own.
Where even the commercials, were commercials that were shown on the Family Channel in the early '90s.
Oh, okay. So
you get
it's a legit retro.
Like classic funny. Bud Light commercials, that kind of thing.
Oh my God! What? Get out of here! Crazy.
And the last one, the big thing, and this is some brown nose in here, but
okay.
I'm ready to get all up in there. My favorite pop culture moment of this year was Podtoberfest.
Get out of here!
Because I got to be a part of it. I thought it was really cool. I got to be there from afar, you know, and hopefully in the future maybe I'll get down there.
Sure.
But I was really thankful for the opportunity to be welcomed into the Shumway Industries family.
Oh, that was fucking perfect.
I was waiting for that.
That was perfect. I gotta try and isolate that.
But
later.
that was a lot of fun. I can't wait to do more of it.
Yeah, well, here's what we have a.
One for you, Bill.
I don't know if anybody could have heard that, but that was one and only Grant Markham.
Yeah, that's not weird.
Yeah, so wow, hey, cool, man. As the only
it was a good list. I thought it was a very a properly nerdy list.
Mm-hmm. And as to the last thing, I'd like to say that as the only official representative of Podtoberfest, it was great to have you in there. It all went great. You brought good shit to the table, and probably didn't give you enough to make you feel like, oh, I did some stuff. The stuff that we ended up working on ended up being mostly for our slot.
Yeah.
For the Wicked Theory slot on that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was great to have you in there, and I'm glad that we did. It was awesome. It was great to have you in it. So, Bob, do you want to go next or you want to pass?
No, I'll go next.
Fair enough. Brother Bob, what is your list for this end-of-year list thing?
Well, I actually technically have 2 lists because I couldn't come up with 5.
All right.
It's a movies list, so I just couldn't come up with 5
All right.
that I was thinking just superhero movies.
Okay.
And there were a lot of superhero movies this year.
Yeah. Wow.
But I couldn't come up with 5 that I thought were even good.
Okay.
I got 4 that were worthy of being on the list.
All right.
Okay.
And then I said, well, then I'll just make it the other one a disappointment, my top disappointment.
Okay, so you got like your 4 best and then 2 kind of like,
right.
Gotcha.
So my top disappointment,
fair enough.
Is filling in for number 5.
Okay.
My top disappointment would be Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, that was a movie that, with those 2 characters, if it had been done right, and it didn't have to even be much different of a movie.
True.
If it would have been done right,
this is big on Ed's
would have
heart.
made closer to $1.5 billion than the $800 or so million it made. Based on just the fact that what they were the characters.
Right? Oh yeah.
So it could have been a lot better.
And I'm going to play this for you.
Amen.
All right. So because I know that you're feeling that.
Oh, you're using a Marvel character song?
It's the saddest thing I got. I'm sorry.
God damn you!
I was about
if it makes you feel better, I can play that on my guitar.
He can serenade you with it.
No, I just think it's ironic that to show the true disappointment in DC movies, we're playing a Marvel character's theme music.
Fair enough.
It is a bit ironic, isn't it?
It is. I wish I planned it like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe DC makes something as good.
One day.
And one day.
Marvel still hasn't.
I'm talking about a piece of music from anything.
Marvel hasn't topped it yet.
Yeah.
It's still
you
the
really
best.
Can't. You really can't.
It's still the best piece of music related to Marvel
works.
ever.
Simplicity works.
That and the Spider-Man original '60s Spider-Man theme song.
Those two things.
I don't know. John
Well,
Williams.
Captain America's not bad.
Well, John Williams isn't. What?
John Williams Superman. I think that goes.
No, it's in Superman. I'm talking about Marvel.
Yeah.
Talking about Marvel.
Yeah.
Of Marvel.
Yeah.
These two things from back in the day. Sorry, Bob. Spotlight is yours.
Right. All right. Anyway, so that was the top disappointment.
Sure.
You don't really have to go into it too much.
Fair enough.
Right. So now it's the top four. Bob's top four sci-fi movies for 2016.
Ooh.
That's why. All right.
I like it.
Number 4 is Rogue One.
Okay.
All right. It's a solid standalone Star Wars movie that doesn't feel like we've seen it before or include cameos gratuitously.
Okay.
Right? So, which could have happened. I was kind of waiting for.
Sure.
And it should stand alone. It should stand the test of time better than the last 4.
Right.
Well,
Right.
Because it can be such a standalone story. Right. And that's why it's number 4 on the list.
Very good. We'll be talking more Rogue One in a little while.
Right. Number 3 is Captain America: Civil War.
Okay.
This is basically the distilled, the superhero action film formula, quite possibly distilled to perfection. That's what I wrote down.
It's pretty true.
Right.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah, where the other ones had some problems with like action and everything, filming it right. This one got it right. There was no mistakes, even with difficulties like Giant Man on screen. And,
yeah. Things that shouldn't work in that movie.
Right. Worked. You know, and so then that's it. Enough said.
Fair enough.
Number 2 on my list is Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Because it's a highly capable, visually unique action film that provides a bridge from the superhero camp to the Harry Potter fans and that kind of thing.
Fuck, Bob should write for fucking Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
I like that. That was fucking well put together paragraph right there. I like that. Continue.
Thank you.
No.
So, but that's
agreed.
well, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that's,
sure.
That's my nutshell. So yeah,
totally true.
Right. It's got great visuals in the in all the action sequences, pretty much,
Yeah.
including those MC Escher style stuff that they did.
That most of all.
Yeah.
That whole sequence was amazing.
Yeah, it's a movie I still want to go back to the theaters to see in 3D.
Sure.
And now I don't think I can, but anyway. And then my number 1 is Deadpool.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Because it showed Fox what happens when you give a few bucks to a couple of guys into making a superhero movie and then leave them alone.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy? Yep.
They didn't even need a lot of money. All right. And they made about $900 million with that movie.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's a runaway train.
Yeah. So it's that simple.
Yeah. That's good.
That's it. That's my list.
That's your list.
There you go.
There you go. All right. So on
Bill,
to mine.
what's your list?
What's my list? So this kind of worked out good. Ed, you had best of was your list, right?
Yeah.
Best of.
Favorite.
And Bob kind of mixed it up, best and worst kind of a thing. And now mine is just the worst. I did a worst list. I did biggest womp womps. Womp womp. in pop culture and stuff like that. And then, mine starts with basically X-Files returned this year.
Oh, yeah.
And that was kind of like a letdown for me, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, like I really, don't get me wrong. Like,
Joe McHale didn't do it for you?
Joe McHale was all right. Like, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. Like, he worked for what he had to do, and I didn't mind seeing him in it either. Didn't pull me out of it. But it was just this thing where, like, I don't know which way they went wrong because they were trying to tap into all the shit they'd done before that worked and refreshing it. And it just fucking, they should have just, instead of trying to say, hey, let's mix it up, they should have just kind of went with, let's just do one way or the other. They had 2 basic episodes, the ones that were conspiracy and the big overall plot lines, and then monster of the week or episode case of the week kind of stuff. And so they did 6 episodes. The bookend ones were the conspiracy main storyline. The 4 in the middle were wacky weirdness or whatever the breakdown was.
Which is a mistake.
Which was a mistake. And so all you get is these giant exposition info dumps in these other 2 episodes that is supposed to make those 2 episodes connect and into the grander mythos and then bring it up to date and set it up for something in the future. So all it just, It was like being stuck with Alex Jones in an elevator. Like I didn't know what was going on, but it all sounded current and true. But somehow I missed the mark. Let me down. All right. So another thing that kind of, I don't want to say like it let me down, but it was a moment where like I was watching a movie this year and it was like, really?
What's that?
That didn't work for me. It was during Star Trek Beyond.
Okay.
When they use sabotage at the end. Spoiler alert. That, once again, you know, and look, I'm a big Beastie Boys fan of that era, of those albums, of those particular albums when they started with that sound, that buzzy 60s, 70s fucking funk sound. And that track is great. Like, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. But it was just like, I don't know. It just didn't work. Like,
to me,
I get it. As an idea, I get it.
And I think it would have been interesting if they'd used any other song, because that song was the same one that Abrams had already used in the first movie.
Yeah,
it was this weird callback that didn't.
Well, I don't think it not that didn't land necessarily. You know, fair enough on that note. You know, it was just one of these things that like it just didn't ring right for me. It just was one of these things where it's like, just. Like you said, use a different song off that album or that era. I understand, like, it was supposed to be like, oh, it's a hard rock action song. But instantly, too, it felt like the Guardians of the Galaxy thing, which I felt was like kind of cheeseball, where it was like a song saves the day at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, again? We here again with this fucking idea that the song saves the movie? All right, whatever. So, on to other things. I'll just echo Bob's statement on Batman vs. Superman. That's another one on my list here. Like, oh, man, fucking... good, but not good enough. No. Not good as it should have been.
No.
You know, I'll watch it, but I don't know if I want to listen to it while it's on. Let's leave it at that. And Suicide Squad is another big womp womp letdown for me, where I don't even want to have on the screen at all.
No, we're not going to talk about that again.
Yeah.
I actually like that one better than Superman and Batman.
There you go. You know? So, that kind of, that's only 4. And then I had Zoolander 2. Which was which is such a bad idea.
Oh,
I didn't even watch it. It was just sad. Like when I remember seeing that trailer and being like, the fact that it was just a mark of sadness for Ben Stiller for me. Where it's like, I guess this is the only thing you got available to you because you're not doing anything else, and you just have to do this now because you're not getting any younger. So I get it. The bit's running its course, but just looked just so not funny. And not that the first was amazing.
It's a sequel that should have come out 2 years after the original.
Way past its prime. Way past its time. Way past its time. But that's it. That's it for my list.
All right, good.
That's it for my list. So, sizing things up now as we go forward into the rest of this episode and wrapping it up because we did the emails already. Yeah. And we did everything else we were obligated to do for this hour.
This hour and 40 minutes?
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch gears. Following suggestion.
Do a short after show maybe?
Yeah. Well, I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. We're going to take a 2-minute and 52-second break. I'm going to play a track and then allow for pee breaks here. And then when we come back, we're just going to jump right to the Rogue One coverage. And then
that feels about right.
Sounds good.
And then after that, we'll see
as long as it takes, and then
after that, see how much time is left. Because Palmer makes a good point over on the side that we're not really going to have to worry about spoilers in front of anybody that's in the chat because him and Wesley have seen it.
This is true.
So it's a private show for them right now. So with that, let's wrap this up officially.
Right. They can take a 2-minute and 52-second
and then we'll take
break.
And then we'll take about a 3-minute, break ski.
Cool.
So as we wrap this show up, let's say this. On Monday, you'll hear this episode, but also the Rogue One stuff review will be separate, so that you can go check that out on the feed and listen at your leisure. There will be non-spoiler stuff up front, and then we'll get deep all up in it as much as we do. Probably go about a half hour maybe or so, 45 minutes. We probably won't talk it to death necessarily. That's the plan anyway. We'll see how it goes. And then everybody else just come back here next week and join us and hang out. I think that's it. Ed, where can people find you on the web?
I'm at Edward O'Hare, TBD.
Bob?
At Bob, WTPC.
And at Wicked Theory. And you can check out the show at wickedtheory.com and all that good stuff, because that's the good stuff. I guess.
All
right, Bob. Whenever you're ready, feel free to take us out of here.